Ladies and gentlemen, some words are just spoken, some words are just heard, but some words, they are felt deep inside, echoing in the soul, leaving behind goosebumps. Today I am not here to give you just a speech. I am here to awaken something within you. Have you ever had a moment where time stood still? Where a song, a quote, or even a single glance gave you chills, as if the universe was whispering directly to you? That is the moment when the ordinary meets the extraordinary. That is when life speaks louder than words. Goosebumps are not just a reaction of the body, they are a signal of truth. They happen when something resonates with the very core of who we are. When a soldier returns home after years of service, and his child runs into his arms, we feel goosebumps. When we hear stories of people who rose from nothing and touched the skies, we feel goosebumps. When we witness a dream so big that it seemed impossible but was made possible, we feel goosebumps. Why? Because deep down we recognize courage. We recognize love. We recognize greatness when it stands before us. But here is the truth that may shake you. Those goosebumps are not only reserved for heroes or legends or miracles. They are reserved for you. Inside you lives a story that has yet to be told, a strength that has yet to be unleashed, a dream that has yet to be realized. The very same chills you feel when you see greatness, you are capable of creating that in your own life. One day you will look back at your own journey. The battles you fought silently. The tears no one saw. The nights you doubted yourself but stood up anyway. And in that moment you will feel goosebumps because you will realize, I made it. Against all odds, I made it. So don't just wait for life to give you goosebumps. Be the reason someone else feels them. Inspire with your actions, move with your words, love so deeply that others are shaken by the purity of it. This, my friends, is the secret of a life well lived, not to pass through it unnoticed, but to live in such a way that your story gives others chills, that your presence lights fire in their hearts, that your courage awakens their own. So the next time you feel goosebumps, don't ignore them. Listen to them. They are life's way of reminding you that you were born for something bigger, something greater, something unforgettable. And if my words today stirred even a spark within you, then this speech has done exactly what it was meant to do. Here are 7 strong keynotes for your speech. This will give you goosebumps. Goosebumps are not just physical, they are signals of truth and resonance. We feel chills when we witness love, courage, and greatness. Goosebumps remind us that extraordinary moments exist in ordinary lives. They are not reserved for legends. You carry the same power within you. Your struggles, resilience, and victories can one day give you goosebumps. Don't just wait for inspiration. Be the reason others feel it. Goosebumps are life's reminder that you are meant for something greater. Goosebumps are not just physical. They are signals of truth and resonance. At first glance, when we think of goosebumps, we associate them with the body's natural response to cold or fear. But if we look deeper, we realize they carry far more meaning than we often give them credit for. They are not merely an involuntary reaction of the skin. They are a profound sign from within us that something has touched a place beyond the surface. They are the body's way of confirming alignment with something true, something powerful, something that connects us to who we are at the deepest level. Think of the times you felt goosebumps rise unexpectedly. Maybe it was while listening to a song that seemed to echo the story of your life. Maybe it was hearing words that mirrored your deepest emotions, or watching a moment of pure triumph. An athlete breaking through impossible odds, a person standing up for justice, a child hugging their parent after years apart. In those moments, it wasn't simply your skin reacting, it was your soul responding. The body has a way of signaling when something resonates with your inner truth, when something moves you in a way words cannot describe. That is the deeper mystery of goosebumps. They are not random, they are meaningful. They remind us that we are more than flesh and bone. We are beings of energy, of spirit, of feeling. The goosebumps we experience when exposed to moments of beauty, love, courage, or truth are proof that our existence is not just mechanical, it is emotional and spiritual. They are signs of alignment, like a whisper from life itself saying, pay attention. This matters. This is real. We live in a world filled with noise, distractions, and superficiality, but goosebumps break through all that, reminding us of what is genuine and unforgettable. When we hear a story of sacrifice, of love so pure it defies logic, or when we stand before a natural wonder like the ocean or a star-filled sky, the chills on our skin are not just physical, they are a recognition. They are the meeting point between the outer world and our inner world. They tell us that what we are experiencing is not ordinary, it carries weight, depth, and truth. They affirm that within us is the capacity to recognize greatness, even if we cannot always explain it. These moments of resonance should not be taken lightly. They show us who we are and what matters most to us. If a piece of music moves you to tears and raises goosebumps, it means it has struck a chord with your soul. If a moment of silence in nature makes your hair stand on end, it is because you have felt the magnitude of life's vastness. If hearing someone's story of resilience gives you chills, it is because it awakens in you the recognition of your own strength. Goosebumps are life's highlighter. They mark the moments that should not be forgotten, the truths that should not be ignored. So, the next time you feel them, don't dismiss them as just a bodily reaction. Pause, breathe, and listen. They are signals of truth and resonance, the body's way of telling you that something significant is happening. They are a compass pointing you toward what matters, reminding you that you are alive, connected, and capable of feeling the depth of existence. Goosebumps are not just physical. They are a sacred conversation between your soul and the world around you. We feel chills when we witness love, courage, and greatness. These three forces, love, courage, and greatness, have the power to touch us in ways that logic alone cannot explain. They move us beyond thought, beyond words, straight into the realm of feeling. That's why goosebumps rise when we see someone love without condition, when we watch courage shine in the face of fear, or when greatness unfolds before our eyes. It is as if our body cannot contain the intensity of what we are witnessing, so it speaks through shivers, chills, and the rush of energy across our skin. Take love, for example. True love, whether it's between a parent and child, between partners, or even expressed in selfless acts for strangers, carries a purity that goes straight to the heart. When you see a soldier reunite with their family after years of separation, or a mother cradling her newborn baby, or two people choosing each other against all odds, it stirs something deep inside us. We feel goosebumps not because we are cold, but because love in its rawest form reminds us of our own longing for connection. It awakens in us the knowledge that love is the very essence of what makes life worth living. Then there is courage, the kind that makes ordinary people do extraordinary things. Watching someone stand up for what they believe in even when their voice shakes, is powerful. Seeing someone face their greatest fear or fight through impossible odds, is humbling. Courage is contagious. It moves us because it shows us what is possible when we push past fear. Think of the goosebumps you feel when you hear a story of survival, of someone who refused to give up despite overwhelming challenges. Courage awakens admiration and reminds us of the strength that exists within every human being. It tells us, if they can do it, so can I. The chills we feel in these moments are our body's way of responding to the greatness of the human spirit on display. And then there is greatness, the kind that takes your breath away. It could be a world record-breaking performance, a speech that changes the course of history, or even the sight of someone achieving a dream they worked their entire life for. Greatness is not just about victory, it is about the journey, the discipline, and the sacrifices that lead to that moment. When greatness reveals itself, we feel chills because it reflects the highest potential of humanity. It shows us what we are capable of when we refuse to settle for mediocrity. Watching greatness unfold is like glimpsing the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary. These three forces, love, courage, and greatness, are deeply interconnected. Love often fuels courage, and courage often leads to greatness. Together, they create moments that live forever in our memory, moments that leave us with chills every time we think back to them. Goosebumps are not simply a reaction to witnessing these forces. They are proof that these qualities are universal. No matter who we are, no matter where we come from, we all recognize love when we see it. We all respect courage when it is shown. We all stand in awe of greatness when it is achieved. So the next time you feel goosebumps rise while watching a movie scene, listening to a powerful speech, or seeing someone achieve the impossible, remember this: your body is responding to more than the moment. It is resonating with the truth of love, the bravery of courage, and the brilliance of greatness. These are the very things that elevate humanity. They are not just meant to be admired from a distance. They are meant to be lived, practiced, and embodied in our own lives. Goosebumps remind us that extraordinary moments exist in ordinary lives. Too often we look at life and think that magic only belongs to a chosen few, that miracles are reserved for legends, or that greatness happens only on grand stages. But the truth is, extraordinary moments surround us every single day, hidden within what looks like ordinary living. They reveal themselves not always in big world-shaking events, but in the quiet, tender, and deeply human experiences that catch us by surprise. When they do, they send shivers across our skin, reminding us that even the simplest life can hold moments of wonder. Think about it. When a child takes their first steps, it might look like an everyday milestone to some, but for that child's parents, it is nothing short of extraordinary. The tiny, wobbly steps signal growth, courage, and the beginning of a new chapter. The goosebumps that rise in that moment are not about the act itself but about the meaning behind it. Or consider the way you feel when you see an elderly couple when you see someone climb out of impossible circumstances and transform their life. The chills you feel are not just admiration, they are a reminder that resilience lives within you too. When you watch a person stand on stage and deliver a speech that changes hearts, the goosebumps you get are not only about their words, they are about the voice inside you that longs to be heard. When you witness someone cross a finish line after years of training, the shiver in your body comes from the recognition that discipline, determination, and strength exist in you as well. We often underestimate ourselves because we compare our behind-the-scenes struggles with the highlight reels of others. We see their triumphs without seeing the years of failure, doubt, and pain that preceded them. Legends are not born with a crown on their heads. They are shaped through persistence, through countless small acts of courage, through choosing not to give up when everything inside them said to quit. That same choice lies before you every day. The power that made them extraordinary is the same power you hold, the power of decision, of perseverance, of self-belief. The world has convinced many of us to shrink, to think small, to settle for less than what we are capable of. We are taught to admire greatness from afar but not to claim it for ourselves. But goosebumps don't lie. When you feel them watching someone else's story, it is because your soul is saying, this is possible for you too. It is not a message of distance, it is a message of closeness. It is not telling you, look at them. It is telling you, look within yourself. Think of all the moments in your life when you surprised yourself. Times you thought you couldn't endure but you did. Times you thought you couldn't achieve but you found a way. Times you doubted your worth but still showed up. Those were not accidents, they were proof. Proof that you are not just a spectator in the world's story, you are a creator in your own. If you could give yourself goosebumps looking back at those moments, imagine the chills you will feel in the future when you realize just how much you are capable of. This is not to say that everyone must chase fame or monumental achievements to matter. Power is not only found in becoming world-renowned, it is found in choosing to live with integrity, in loving fiercely, in refusing to give up on your dreams, in standing up when life knocks you down. Legends are simply people who did ordinary things with extraordinary consistency. That same path is open to you. So the next time you feel chills while listening to someone else's story of triumph, don't just admire it, internalize it. Don't just think, that was powerful, think, that power is inside me too. Because the truth is, goosebumps are not only a reaction to greatness, they are an invitation. An invitation to step into your own strength, to write your own story, to become the kind of person whose journey gives others goosebumps. Your struggles, resilience, and victories can one day give you goosebumps. Often we think of goosebumps as something triggered by outside forces, a song, a story, or someone else's triumph. But what many forget is that the most powerful chills we will ever feel come from within, when we look back on our own journey and realize how far we have come. Life has a way of testing us, breaking us down, and forcing us to grow in ways we never imagined. In those moments, it is hard to see beyond the pain. But one day, when the storm has passed and you are standing taller, you will look back and the memory of what you overcame will shake you with awe. Think of the battles you have already faced. Perhaps it was the loneliness that felt unbearable, the failure that shattered your confidence, the heartbreak that made you question your worth, or the challenge that seemed too big to conquer. At the time, it might have felt like the end of you. And yet, here you are. You survived. You endured. You rose again. That alone is enough to send chills down your spine. You were tested by life and you did not let it destroy you. That is not weakness, that is resilience. Resilience is often underestimated. It is not loud or flashy. It is not always celebrated by the world. But it is one of the most extraordinary forces a human being can possess. It is the quiet strength that allows you to get out of bed after a night of tears. It is the courage to keep moving forward when everything around you says stop. It is the belief, however small, that tomorrow might be better than today. And every time you choose to rise again, you are building a story of resilience that will one day bring you goosebumps when you recall it. Victories, too, play their part, not just the big life-changing ones but the small, often overlooked ones. The day you finally achieved a goal you had been chasing for months. The moment you heard the words, "You passed," "You got the job," or "I'm proud of you." The feeling of finishing something you once thought impossible. These victories may seem small compared to the grand achievements of others, but they are monumental in your own story. They are proof that persistence pays off, that hard work bears fruit, and that you are capable of more than you imagined. When you look back, those moments will give you goosebumps because they remind you that the person who once doubted themselves was capable of triumph all along. And then there are the quiet, deeply personal victories no one else may ever know about. The night you decided not to give up on yourself. The day you forgave someone who hurt you, or the day you forgave yourself. The moment you chose healing over bitterness or courage over fear. These victories may not make headlines, but they are the kind that change your life from the inside out. One day, when you reflect on them, you will feel chills because you will recognize the strength it took to make those choices. What makes these struggles, resilience, and victories so powerful is that they belong uniquely to you. They are your story, your scars, your growth. No one else lived your battles, and no one else can fully grasp the strength it took for you to come through them. That is why, when you remember them, they will strike you with a force that words cannot capture. The goosebumps will come not from watching someone else's life but from recognizing the greatness in your own. So never underestimate your journey. Never dismiss your pain, your perseverance, or your triumphs as insignificant. They are the very things that shape you into who you are meant to be. One day you will look back with awe, and the memories of what you endured, what you overcame, and what you achieved will give you goosebumps. Not because you were perfect, but because you were human and still you rose. Don't just wait for inspiration. Be the reason others feel it. Many people go through life waiting for something or someone to move them. They look for motivation in movies, books, speeches, or in the achievements of others. While there is nothing wrong with drawing strength from outside sources, the real power lies in realizing that you, too, can be a source of inspiration. The goosebumps you feel when you witness greatness, love, or courage are not just reminders of what is possible. They are invitations for you to live in such a way that your own story sends chills down the spines of others. Inspiration is not always about grand gestures or world-changing acts. Often, it is found in the way someone continues to persevere despite obstacles. Think of the single parent who works tirelessly, day after day, to provide for their children. Think of the student who studies late into the night, determined to change the course of their life. Think of the person who has every reason to give up but chooses instead to keep going. These stories may not make headlines, but when we encounter them, they leave us deeply moved. Why? Because they show us the resilience of the human spirit, and that resilience gives us goosebumps. Being the reason others feel inspired does not require perfection. In fact, it is often our flaws, struggles, and vulnerability that inspire people the most. When you share your journey honestly, when you show others the pain you endured and the hope that carried you through, you become a mirror in which they can see themselves. People do not just want to hear about polished victories, they want to know that someone else has walked through the same darkness they are facing and still found the strength to rise. Your story, your scars, your perseverance could be the very thing that makes someone else believe they can survive their own battles. Even small actions can inspire. A kind word offered to someone who feels invisible. A smile given to a stranger. A moment of encouragement when someone else is doubting themselves. These gestures may seem insignificant to you, but to another person they could mean everything. Inspiration is not always loud. It is often quiet, gentle, and unexpected. And it is in those moments that goosebumps arise, because the heart recognizes the power of human connection. We live in a world where it is easy to complain, criticize, or dwell in negativity. But imagine what happens when you choose to be different. When you choose to encourage instead of tear down, to believe instead of doubt, to shine instead of hide. You become a light in the lives of others, and that light can spread further than you ever realize. Long after people forget your words, they will remember how you made them feel. They will remember the chills they felt when your courage, kindness, or determination touched them. Being the reason others feel goosebumps is not about seeking recognition or applause. It is about living authentically, with purpose and compassion. It is about daring to show up fully in life, to face challenges with grace, and to love without hesitation. When you do this, you give others permission to do the same. You awaken something within them that says, if they can live like that, maybe I can too. That awakening is where true inspiration begins. So don't sit back waiting for the world to give you goosebumps. Instead, step into your own power and live in such a way that your journey, your resilience, and your presence ignite that feeling in others. Be the person whose actions ripple outwards, whose story moves hearts, and whose life reminds others of what is possible. Because the greatest legacy you can leave is not in what you accumulate, but in the chills you leave behind in the souls of others. Goosebumps are life's reminder that you are meant for something greater. Every time you feel that sudden rush of energy across your skin, it is more than just a fleeting physical sensation. It is a message. It is life's way of whispering to you, pay attention. This matters. This is who you are meant to be. Too often people dismiss goosebumps as random, but they are anything but. They show up at moments of truth, beauty, and possibility. They arrive when something touches the very core of who you are, awakening a part of you that is often quieted by routine, doubt, or fear. Think of the moments when goosebumps rise. Hearing a song that feels like it was written just for you, standing in front of a vast ocean or a star-filled sky, watching someone achieve something they were told was impossible,